Your game time for the next 2 to 3 weeks of your reserve. While I do this while we're on you should make sure to remain seated for me. Keep it all feet and legs inside the trunk. Bring you over to the rugged train. There's a prickly brush out there. We don't want you to get caught up in anything. Just keep it all inside the truck. Now, if you have smaller travelers, they are more than welcome to sit on your lap to get a better view. Please do not hold them up into the air, though, or let them stand on your lap or stand on the seat. Seated on your lap, though, is 120% okay with me. Now, if you plan on taking pictures out here today, which I hope that you do, if you have an action or sports setting on that camera, that's what I would suggest that you use. I'd also just having that camera out and ready to go at all times. You never know what we might see or where we might see it. Now, be sure to hold tight to those belongings. If anything falls from the truck, we are not permitted to stop and pick it up. Now, that doesn't mean that you'll never see it again. It'll probably not be in the same condition that it was before.
Al follows you wherever you go.
Now, lastly, folks, if you look right above your heads, you're going to see a game spotting guide. Now, that game spotting guide will come in handy for identifying some of the creatures that we might get to see out here today. I can't make any promises. They are wild animals after all, but hopefully we'll have some pretty good luck. Now, is there anything up there that anybody is super duper excited to see? Lions, zebras, crocodiles, rhinos, all the things. Hippos. We're just going to say everything. We're just excited to see all sorts of things. To see a penguin? I've never seen a penguin in Africa. You and I would both be surprised about that one. Yeah. But we'll keep our eyes peeled. I guess anything is possible. Alrighty, folks. Well, with that in mind, how about we get started? Now, we're going to start off in the Little Ituri Forest. Now, forest is the key word. Animals do like to use their colors as camouflage, so be sure to keep your eyes peeled. Now, hanging out there on the right-hand side, I see a couple of okapi. Now, the okapi, so they really are most closely related to what animal? Zebras. Yes, a very common and a very good guess. Giraffe. You cheated. Yes, they are most closely related to the giraffe. Actually, the only animal that is the giraffe. You can tell mainly in their very long face and very long tongue as well. Just got a smarty pants up here in the first row, that's okay. Now their tongue is actually long enough to extend out of their mouth around to touch the eyeball on the side of their head. So it's pretty long. I don't think they lick their eyeball very often, but just as reference as to how long it is. Now as we make our way here around the corner, I see we're approaching a watering hole. Sometimes a good place to spot some black rhinos. I actually see 2 black rhinos coming up around the corner, folks. Now there are fewer than 5,000 left in the entire world today because of their poaching. We're going to take a little pause here kind of between the two. Like I say, fewer than 5,000 of them left in the entire world today. You just got to see 2 because you're awesome. It's whatever. Alright, well, let's see what else we can find as we continue moving around. Like on your right-hand side there on top of the hill. Lighter tan creature. It's a greater kudu. Looks like another one coming up on the right as well. Actually, another one up there on top of the hill as well. I see 3 of them. Now, the greater kudu, they're the second tallest of the antelope species. Now, the ones that I can see do not have horns, meaning they are females. Males of the species have horns, females do not. Now, coming up on your left-hand side, flashes of orange. Those are bongos. Now, bongos, they're nicknamed the ghost of the forest because they're so rarely seen. Now, they do have horns, males and females alike. They're actually going to be tilted backwards if you can see them well enough right there. You'll see that. Now, that's so that they can dive through the underbrush without getting caught. That's how they avoid their predators. It's quite efficient for them. Alright, well, looks like that's going to do us for the forest today, but do not worry. That is with stop number 1 on our safari. We're now going to be making our way into the Safi River. Now, the Safi River is usually a great place to spot some hippos, so if you're a hippo fan, this is your time to get excited. Take a look on your right-hand side. Now, if you don't get a good view of those, don't worry. Usually around the corner we'll spot some more. We're going to go nice and slow through here. Over there. Like I say, usually around the corner we will spot some more. Sometimes a whole bloat of hippos. A bloat is what a group of hippos is called. Now, do keep in mind, folks, hippos can remain submerged for up to 8 minutes before they have to resurface for a breath. And despite the fact that they're excellent swimmers, they prefer to walk along the bottom if they can touch. They can be a little tricky to see sometimes. I think I see some more activity coming up here around the corner Let's see once we get around this island. Now on that island, I see some pink-back pelicans. Now they only get their pinkish color during mating season. They look a little more white right now. Now look at that bloat of hippos. Does anybody here want a hippopotamus for Christmas?
See him under the
There
water?
you go. I got you a whole bloat of them. Merry Christmas. You're welcome. Now, generally, folks, those hippos will remain in the water for most of the day to help regulate their body temperatures. They'll come out towards the nighttime hours when they can eat up to 115 pounds of grass. And when they're fully grown, males at least will weigh well over 5,000 pounds, so they're pretty big. Oh, this bridge coming up ahead doesn't look too good, folks. Oh, dear, and I really don't like what's under the bridge. Those are Nile crocodiles,
See him?
and they look kind of hungry. Well, Nile crocodiles are ectothermic, meaning they regulate their body temperatures by opening their jaws to release body heat. Now, their jaws have a crushing power of 2,000 pounds per square inch. And they can run it up to 10 miles per hour on land, and our truck only goes 8. So we're going to get out of here. A whole new ecosystem, folks. And if you look on your right-hand side, it looks like a baobab tree. Now, the baobab tree is also known as the upside-down tree because it looks like its roots are sticking straight up into the air. But it's actually just leafless. Those are its bare branches, and it can remain leafless like that for up to 9 months out of the year. Now, as we make our way around the corner, this is by far one of my favorite views of the entire reserve, folks. This is the outlook of the Serengeti grasslands. These grasslands act like a superhighway to migrating animals, and they're going to be home to some of Africa's more popular species like giraffes, elephants, and zebras, among many others. Now, as we make our way through the grasslands, folks, all of the landscaping that you're going to see out here is actually upkept by the animals that live here. Now, elephants, they'll act like bulldozers, knocking over the trees, and giraffes who actually spend 16 to 20 hours out of their day just eating. Well, they'll act like pruning shears, eating leaves from the undersides of the trees, letting in more light. And some antelope species, they'll chew on the grass, acting like lawnmowers, followed by some smaller nibblers like gazelle and warthog who will trim up the edges. So all in all, it is going to be a balanced ecosystem with food for everyone. Two smarty pants up here in the front row. Those are indeed termite mounds. I can hear everything. Supersonic hearing. Yeah, no, those are termite mounds, though. Those orange mounds of earth around us. Now, they're actually going to be as hard as concrete. And when they're nice and tall, like this one on the left-hand side that we're going to be approaching, that'll be a nice example. They'll be used like scratching posts for larger creatures like elephants. And then once they wear them down nice and small, the one there on the right-hand side hanging out towards the middle might be a good example of that. They'll be used as a lookout post, actually, to help smaller animals see their predators that might be hiding in the tall grass and can hop up on top of them, and it puts them right up above the grass so they can see. Now, folks, we have actually been known to spot a couple different species of giraffes out here on the reserve. Now, one of those being reticulated giraffes. Now, reticulated actually comes from the Latin word reticulata, which means net. Giraffes. Now, those Maasai giraffes, they have more of a jagged puzzle piece-like pattern. It's not going to fit together quite as well as the net-like pattern of the reticulated giraffes. It's also going to be just a little bit darker in color than the pattern of the reticulated giraffes. So we'll see what we can find as we continue making our way here around the corner in the grasslands. actually some big horns poking out up there. Now those belong to an Ankole cattle, also known as Watusi cattle, named for the group of people that domesticated them. You can see it on the game spotting guide if you didn't get a good view of it over there. Hopefully we'll catch up with them. Now they have those super big horns that look really heavy, but they're actually almost hollow. Well, they have honeycomb structures inside. Warm blood will flow into the horns, it'll cool down while it's in there, and that cooler blood is what will then recirculate back into the body. So it's kind of like their own personal air conditioning system, which out here in Africa can be a pretty nice thing to have. Now also coming up here on the right hand side, I see some white bearded wildebeest. Now wildebeest is the Afrikaans word that means wild beast, also known as gnu, spelled G-N-U, because they make a newing sound. Now they'll actually participate in one of Africa's largest migrations every year, and oh my goodness folks, I think I see some giraffe activity coming up around the corner. Gonna be on your right hand side once we make our way around here. Looks like 1, 2, I think there's 3. I think there's one laying down behind that island of trees. Now the one that's going to be standing closest to us is actually a reticulated giraffe, and the ones that I can see behind it are Maasai. Looks like another Maasai actually on the left, distance a little bit farther. A few more coming up there around the corner under those trees over there, yep. We're going to move forward a little further. We'll take a pause for some photos of the giraffes there on the right-hand side. Yeah, there's another one laying down behind the reticulated giraffe. There's some more coming up here on the left. Still see the ones on the right-hand side as well. Moving around over there. Now, a group of giraffes is actually known as a tower. So I qualify that as a tower of giraffes. Small but mighty. Oh yeah, you can see that Ankole cattle there in the distance on the right. Look up the hill. It's in the distance still, but you can get a better view of it. Now, as we make our way a little bit deeper into this area, we're actually going to pass through Monkey Point in the outskirts of Elephant Country. Now, in Monkey Point, we've been known to spot some mandrills. Now, the mandrills, they are the largest of the monkey species, but they can be pretty shy and reclusive, so we'll keep our eyes peeled. Now, males, they're known for the coloring on their faces, having a red stripe in the middle and blue stripes on either side of that. And they'll actually spend most of their day grooming each other. See at least one sitting on top of the rocks that are under the tree there.
Came up in a tree, he's going under the tree. See this one underneath the tree? On a rock?
A few over there.
Oh, there's one right here. Yeah.
If you look on your right-hand side, folks, I see an African elephant. In the distance on the right. Now, these are just the outskirts of Elephant Country. I know a little shortcut up ahead should put us right into the heart of things, so let's head out that way, see if we can't get some better views. Plus, the warning closed down the shortcut. There's still a nice view there of that African elephant. I guess if we can't go that way, folks, we're going to have to continue going this way. Looks like the warden set up a little detour for us, so we'll head on down this road. Oh, but this road doesn't look so good.